Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Munce Report as trainer Chris Munce previews the weekend's runners and catches up on all the latest stable news. Welcome, mate. Another big week for the stable. Another two winners added to the tally with Unguarded and Woolsey. Let's kick off with Unguarded before we get into the preview. She was a huge run at Ipswich on Saturday, coming from well back, and obviously she was well placed in the race, but still had a fair bit of work to do coming into the turn. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I was certainly worried. It was a very good ride from Alan Chow, considering where she was in the run and the way the race was panning out. But look, she's always shown us that she can gallop. Got quite a few issues, but I think Ipswich really suited her too, with good speed on. She got back off them. Needed a bit of luck, which she got, and then she was able to get home and win the race too. But she'll go on with it now. She should be able to hopefully up here now pick up a few more races, and she's just a lovely mare to do anything with.
Yeah, well done to the Connections. That was her second start for the new stable, second start in Queensland, and interested to see what she can do now. And then the momentum continued. Beaudesert had a meeting on Tuesday, and the Beaudesert specialist, Woolsey, made it 3 from 3 at the track with what was her third career win.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see her win because she's now on the market to be sold the next English sale. And it's interesting, when you've got stables of horses. I mean, one Mrs. Kathy Munce was a major shareholder in the horse, and we just realised her level wasn't going to be able to match it here in town. So, she'll be a very, very good pickup for somebody who wants to race a horse sort of in the provincial country area. She's certainly got more wins in store for her. But for a stable like ours in the metropolitan area, she probably wasn't a horse that's really going to be able to pay away. So for that reason, that was the main objective for us, putting on her on the line, not for any reason that she's got an issue or there's no problems with her, but we just realised that her level of ability is probably not up to metropolitan standard. Yeah,
sure. I guess it's the same as, Arthur in Charge. He's a recent acquisition for your stable, the Sydney stable. That Mark Newnham feel that he's not quite up to Sydney Metro racing there. So it's the same deal here, isn't it? So interesting to see what she makes. The English Digital, rather, kicks off on Friday. So we'll see. Hopefully she finds a nice home beyond this.
Yeah, no, look, I hope she does, because she's certainly a lovely mare. She's got no tricks with her. And, she can gallop. She's quite a good little galloper, but she'll be certainly a very, very good pickup for anybody that wants to race her in the provincial and country areas.
And speaking of the metro area, those results continued the strong start to the season. So that puts you in 6th place in the Queensland Metro Trainers Premiership and 5th overall. So good start to the year, heading into the spring and the summer, the big summer carnival.
Yeah, we're really happy with the way the horses are racing. I mean, we haven't got big numbers like some other stables, but, we've got some nice young horses coming through, and it's just a matter of sorting them out and trying to place them in the races that suit them best.
And speaking of young horses, obviously the 2-year-old trials have started and obviously racing this weekend. And you've got a couple of well-bred babies that have returned to the stable from pre-training out at Fenwick Farm this week, an Almahar colt and also the Rommel colt. What are your thoughts on those guys?
Yeah, really nice. And they've certainly done well in the short time they've had off, particularly the Almahar. He's grown and strengthened. He's really taken my eye, the way that he's developed this time around. So being an Almahar, he could run as a 2-year-old. You just don't know. But certainly he's a striking colt, and I've got very excited about his future.
And obviously you've established a reputation with as a trainer of 2-year-olds, and this crop that you bought this year, you're letting them tell you when they're ready, that sort of thing.
Yeah, probably this year I'm not rushing as many or not putting as many under as much early pressure as what I had done previously. I just sort of noticed from the last couple of seasons, the horses that I've taken my time with and looked after, they've sort of been able to keep racing on and raced on for a lot longer, and given the owners a lot more enjoyment, where the ones that I've sort of been up and going with early, they've certainly raced early as a 2-year-old, all through their 2-year-old season, but then never really went on after that as a late 3-year-old or 4-year-old. So I just think sometimes with some of them, you just got to try and pick your mark, and that's what I've done this year. I've just tried to be a bit more picky with the ones that I'm putting pressure on early.
Yeah, sure. Well, interesting to see. Keep an eye on those 2-year-olds as they come through. Anyway, okay. Well, let's get into the preview for the weekend runners. 4 runners headed to various meetings. Obviously, headlined by the return of stable star Boom Sarah in Saturday's listed Wheatwood handicap. But we kick off Friday night at the Sunshine Coast. The night racing's back up at the Sunshine Coast, and Lady Bramos drops back from Saturday Metro grade here to a Class 1 plate over the 1200. Looks pretty well placed in this race.
Yeah, it's a Class 2 plate, Adam, but I brought her back purely because I know she raced well at Caloundra once before, and I've just felt that as much as she's raced very well at Doomben, I don't think it's her ideal track. I think she likes the biggest, more spacious tracks. Certainly for a Class 2 race, it's actually very, very strong on Friday night. The horse, I'm Invincible horse from the Gold Coast, won a maiden there the other day quite well, and there's a couple of others in there that have got, look to have nice ability. So she's certainly going to need the right sort of run from her draw, which is a little bit sticky, but the way she's been racing, you'd think she'd have to be one of the major players in there, and she's holding her form quite well. So look, it's I was sort of taking her up there, thinking there was going to be an easy kill for her. I still think that she'll race very well, but it's turned out the race a little bit stronger than what I thought. But having said that, she'll still go up there. She'll still race very, very well, and hopefully we can go on from there, bring her back to town.
Okay, that's interesting. So she's 2 starts for 1 win and a placing at the Sunshine Coast. So as you mentioned, she likes the track up there. Toowoomba on Saturday. 2 runners head up to Toowoomba. Coco Fashion kicks things off in race 1, a Class 3 plate over the 1850 metres. She's obviously a mare in form, and how do you think she'll handle the step up in trip? That's obviously the unknown with her, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the step up in trip's not going to be a concern. Probably, if I was to have a concern, it would be the track. She hasn't raced there to my knowledge, and it can be a tricky track. Toowoomba, it's brought some nice horses unstuck up there, but she's racing very well, and I do believe the 1800 will suit her down the ground the way that she's going, and she's continued to hold her form and race very well. So it'll be interesting to see. We'll learn a lot more about her after Saturday.
Okay, and she had a little trip down to the beach with her mate Boom Sarah this week, and obviously that's just part of a race routine. Just change things up for them and let them have a dip down at Nudgee.
Yeah, I enjoy it, and the horses enjoy it. I think it probably does my mind more good than the horses, just knowing that they're down there doing something a little bit bigger, different, I should say, and recovering from their gallop the previous day. It's sort of it helps their mind, and I just feel it does them a lot of good.
And Boom Sarah obviously resumes. Importantly, he had a jump out on the Tuesday at Doomben with Larry Cassidy in the saddle. What did you make of that jump out, and what are you expecting from him first up?
Thought his jump out was very good. He was. It was interesting. Larry said after the race how laid back he is. Well, I'm glad he actually had a ride on him in the trial, because that's the horse. He's quite laid back. He doesn't overexert himself. So he's never going to be a horse that wins a trial or wins a race by a big margin. But having said that, he's drawn very well on Saturday. He's probably not fully wound up. He only had the 3 weeks off after the Eyeliner Stakes, and this race sort of come up. It was an awkward time, but it's a month out from the Keith now. And I sort of thought this run I could use it more as a I suppose, to keep his mind going and stimulated to otherwise it's going to be a long time up until the Keith Nowd for him to be shooting the breeze through the stable. So for that reason, we decided to run him. He'll race very well. His trial was good on Tuesday, and he's just a competitor when he turns up on race day.
Very good, and he obviously is drawn well in barrier 2. So he showed his versatility last preparation. Sort of, I guess, not necessarily out of a desire to go back, but have you settled on where you think he may settle in the run? Or you take advantage of the barrier, will you?
Yeah, look, Larry's had a ride on him now, and he's watched his replays, and he's knows about as much of the horse as what he can do in a short space of time, but. Certainly, from a good draw, it allows him an option to ride whatever race he likes. If he happens to jump well and they decide to go steady, he'll take up the lead. But if they go fast, well, he'll come back out of the pressure and let them absorb the pressure, and he'll probably be the one closing late. So he's got plenty of options from a good draw, and I actually think he's terribly well weighted. 56.5 from a good draw. There was too many positives and too many inviting things to not to run him in the Wheatwood.
Very good. Well, it'll be interesting to see how he goes, and good to see him back at the races. And then rounding out the runners for the weekend, Lucky Time heads to the Gold Coast on Saturday for a Fillies and Mares maiden handicap over the 1,200 metres. She's drawn out wide in barrier 14. What are your thoughts on her chances?
Yeah, well, look, I'll have to talk to Shelley Hancock's and whether they want to run or not. Obviously, it's a little bit awkward once again. I mean, she's a sort of filly I think needs all favours, so she will be wearing blinkers, and I can't fault how she's going. She galloped with the blinkers on Tuesday morning, and probably one of the best pieces of gallop that I've seen her put in. So I'll just have to work out where she goes. If she doesn't run on Saturday, she'll probably go around next Wednesday at the Gold Coast in a maiden down there.
Very good. All right, mate. Well, good luck to yourself. Good luck to Connections. It'll be interesting to see how the charges go over the weekend.
Good on you, Adam. Thanks very much.